We go. We are now so live.
Okay, well,
That is great. Um, and John, the great thing about going live is that we get to react to the 32,000 people that have been waiting for us to chat this morning.
indeed, yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so this is the introduction and inaugural live video of Peninsula Chamber Trade Committee chats and discussions. So some context first before we get going. And this will be a brief meeting today. But we started this committee of which I chair. You are a long time member, chair, and board member of the Peninsula Chamber. And we started this in February. And that was in an attempt to react to Trump's tariff wars. A lot of what happened with Trump in the meantime has simply made any kind of trade discussion or activity chaos. We don't really know how to react to what he's doing, except for maybe within the last week to 10 days, there's finally been some sort of number. Uh,
Yeah, well,
what we,
what
what,
he's done to this dynamic is make risk mitigation an incalculable number.
right. Okay. So we then wondered, what could this trade committee do? A chamber trade committee, what could we actually do? We can advocate on behalf of our members, and we're working with the South Island Prosperity Partnership to do that. They have a more organized, disciplined structure in which to advocate for businesses. Uh, and so we are going to work hand in hand with them on the advocacy piece. And then you and I chatted, and and it was decided, I think rightly so, that we would talk about trade. We would have discussions about trade. We would hear from trade experts, and we would do it this using this venue, using a Zoom call live on YouTube. Okay, so this is our first one, and I wanted to provide some context for everyone that we're going to do this now regularly. And John, you're going to reach into your vast network, and we're going to have fascinating speakers who are going to tell us about how can companies react to this trade instability. How can they shift their customers or their supply chains? All that stuff that at this stage it's very, very difficult to find out how to answer that. So I'm now going to go to you. First of all, let's talk about you a little bit before we talk about trade. Why is it that you are a trade expert? What is your background? And I mean, I know it's very extensive, but let's tell all of our. Okay, now we're up to 39,000. Wow, this is good, John.
No, I joined the Foreign Service a very long time ago. I spent 32 years as a trade commissioner in Sao Paulo, Brazil, San Juan, Puerto Rico, London, where I worked on investments mostly, uh, San Jose, Costa Rica, covering Nicaragua and Panama, Hong Kong for 4 years, Tokyo for 4 years, and finally Manila. And then I retired from the Foreign Service and headed the Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership for 5 years, based in Regina. So basically, I spent much of my career not doing business, but trying to facilitate the achievement of business goals by Canadian companies across the country and in every sector you can imagine. Uh, During that time, I've had some fun. I always wanted to join the Foreign Service. I've learned some lessons. I've seen what I think it takes, the best role, let's put it that way, that a government funded trade service can fulfill for business. You must never cross the line, right? The owners of business, they make the ultimate risk calculation, they do the pricing. It's their livelihood and their employees' livelihoods at stake, but they need information. They need
Bingo.
to get to talk to people they can trust.
Exactly. And that was kind of leading beautiful. First of all, we're very honored to have you on here, your experience in your network. So a business listening to these sessions, what can they get out of this? What is it? What kind of information are we going to be providing?
Well, I hope with the people that we'll invite on, we'll get a hint at least of how we got here and a knowledgeable look at what comes next, given the parameters you've already described, with a somewhat, well, an administration in the United States for whom their main tactic is chaos. And the main dynamic for them may be, well, survival of the fittest. And as Mr. Trump pointed out early in the trade war, the United States is completely self-sufficient for everything. And so we're just going to shift. In fact, we'll lower our income taxes and generate money from tariffs as the best way to recover or strengthen the financial health of the United States.
One of the reasons we chose going live, John, is because there's a chat. And so we're going to very much encourage, as we get folks listening to us, to talk to us and ask us questions. So that's part of this education piece, right?
Yeah.
And we'll do our best to respond to those questions, etc. Okay, so we're going to be capitalizing on your experience, on your network. We're going to be educating. We're going to be helping. Tell us a few of the potential speakers or kinds of speakers that we plan on getting on to our chamber chat here.
Okay, well, a while ago, I was linked in with a group of my former colleagues to testify in the Senate of Canada that was looking at amending the Foreign Service Act to exclude supply management from any negotiation that the Canadian government undertook. Came from a private member's bill that was adopted by the House of Commons, and the Senate was a little bit concerned about tying the hands of our trade negotiators. Anyway, through that experience, I got reintroduced to quite a number of my quite distinguished colleagues who'd spent careers on the trade policy side of the department. And I've spoken to a number of them, and they're prepared to come on and share their experience. I think if I could just say, overall, I think the aim of these discussions is to reassure the Canadian business community that tough as it is, the world will always be round. And that global trade is, as it has been for the last 3,000 years, our future in the next 12 months and 10 years and decades to follow. It's just that we're at an inflection point. And as I said a bit earlier, in a sense, the risk profile facing Canadian companies has significantly increased, as it has for businesses around the world. But a number of these people have spent their years conducting trade negotiations for Canada. They've seen everything thrown at this country, and they've done in their professional lives what they can do to deflect and protect Canadian interests in that kind of bear pit. And the results are clear. The economies in most countries in the world have boomed in the last 30, 40 years under the continuing onslaught of a freer trade environment. That includes the United States. And if you look at it from another point of view, in the last 30 years, we've eliminated more poverty from the earth than at any other time in human history.
Yeah.
And the main driver has been our willingness to provide solutions for customers who don't live in our country and accept solutions from them that we need.
Well, that's absolutely true. You and I are going to have ongoing discussions now, sometimes maybe 2 or 3 times a week, maybe once a month. We don't have any set time. It'll depend on when our speakers are available or as we align to world events. We're going to be educating. We're going to be informing. We're going to be having chats with you online live,
Yeah.
and we will be a part of the solution to this trade war chaos.
And
And
that is
John,
my hope.
yes,
And just to add another, well, related dimension, we will reach out to Mexican economists and Mexican trade practitioners and
yeah,
get a sense from them as to how it's working south of the border, south of the Rio Grande. And there are some lessons there. I mean, one
totally.
stark, the Mexican government has imposed no reciprocal tariffs on the United States.
Yeah,
We immediately did that.
yeah,
So there are
fascinating.
differences, and there are differences worth exploring.
Well, we will, by the way, for those, so um, once again emphasizing this is live and we're choosing to go this route so that you folks watching can interact with us. And if somebody comes on that you and I, John, feel could really start to engage in the discussion directly, I'll bring them online. I'll send them the Zoom link. So we got a lot of flexibility here too, to be very dynamic with our discussion. John Treleaven, thank you so much. We will have a speaker coming up soon as we emerge out of these dog days of August summer.
Yes, and you mentioned dynamism. Let's face it, the whole situation we're in is as dynamic as this morning's news. And the people that we'll talk to are reacting in real time as you and I are to events that are beyond our control. But they've been there.
Yeah,
They negotiated NAFTA.
yeah. And so
They
have you.
negotiated Kuzma.
Yeah,
They're Mexican business people trying to react at the same time.
yeah.
And we will absolutely, for reasons that will become clear, have get the Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership online. And I mean, among the people I want to reach out to is Canada's Chief Trade Commissioner.
Yeah.
And for that matter, the other risk mitigation instruments, which are extremely important, Export Development Canada, their chief economist, will do that. And I
That's
hope
great.
that we'll continue the dialogue through what continues to be a period of, it's not transition yet, it's shock.
Yeah,
It's a period
yeah,
of shocks.
yeah.
Transition will follow, but until the shells stop exploding, it's pretty hard to sit there and figure out what the strategy should be.
Isn't that so true? Well, on that note, I mean, you and I will, you and I have known each other now for a while. Both of us have been deeply involved within the chamber ecosphere for most of our business lives and love it. And I know that we both like to talk and we both like to engage the community and the business community in our dialogue and educate them. So we will do that. John, until we meet again, thank you so much for being involved with this. And we're going to keep talking
Oh, yeah.
till one of us chooses to say bye-bye.
Well, we're going to keep talking until a business person can sit down and plan the next 6 months' activity on the shop floor. Right now, they can't do it.
Isn't that so true? They can't even do 6 hours.
Yeah,
Okay, you take care, John. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. All the best.